Hello everybody, and welcome to Tapcast by Tap Group, your gateway into the minds of industry leaders transforming the future of global trade, logistics, healthcare, and innovation. I'm your host Tanya, and today's episode dives into one of the most crucial and rapidly element in the GCC region, the supply chain. From cold chain logistics to artificial intelligence, from last mile innovation to disruption management, the GCC region is not just catching up, it is setting new standards. And there's no better person to explore this transformation with than our guest for today, Mr. Ahmed Attiya, who is Supply Chain Director for the GCC region at Zahrawi Group. Ahmed has been at the forefront of optimizing logistics and building strategic resilience in one of the most dynamic regions in the world. Mr. Ahmed, welcome to Tapcast, and it is a pleasure for me to have you today on the show.
Thank you so much, Tanya. It's a pleasure to meet you and all the team again. It's always been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Great. Mr. Ahmed, our first segment discusses about the profit potential in the GCC cold chain logistics market. Let's kick things off by, zooming out. The cold chain logistics market in the GCC, especially in the healthcare sector, has been showing explosive growth and a very rapid transformation. So, from your experience, what is the reason that is fueling this kind of a surge?
Well, thank you so much for the question. There are major forces that are playing a very good role here. First of all, the population growth and the aging demographics. As the region grows, so does demand for specialty medication, the vaccines, and temperature-sensitive treatments.
Right.
The region is growing unorganically because the business is growing, the economy is growing, and there are multiple people that are coming from abroad, from multiple nationalities to landing in the GCC, and in particular from their countries. So in most of the countries, the growth is organic. However, in the GCC is both organic on a high fertility rate as well as unorganic from people are coming from the other sectors.
Mhm.
The second thing is the government investment in Saudi and UAE and other GCC countries. They are heavily backing the healthcare part as a long-term vision. We are talking about small cities, digital cities, and advanced treatment centers that is happening in remote areas in multiple cities. And this is contributing exponentially in the lifetime. So the
Right.
life expectancy growing, the people are more incoming. This is making a very substantial growth in the demographics in the GDP. And the last thing, which I think is some people see it as a challenge, however, I do see it as a very advantage thing, is the regulatory and the technical shift in the
Mhm.
technology. Countries are basically investing heavily in the digitization and the healthcare and all the other aspects of the government. But for me, I'm more touching the healthcare part. So I think they are heavily investing, they are heavily regulating the market, making it a very high standard market, not less than any other countries in the world.
Absolutely. I think that makes a lot of sense, Mr. Ahmed. And in my personal belief, I think the intersection of demand and regulation, and also in some aspect, the challenges that climate is putting, it is somehow creating both opportunities and pressure in the sector. But do you think that this is a sustained profit model, or are we looking at a peak that could somewhere flatten in the upcoming days?
Well, indeed, it is substantial, but I believe it's very sustainable
Hmm.
because we have their history, we have the track record that proven this over the past 50, 60 years. So I
Right.
think this is not a boom. It's very sustainable.
Hmm.
It triggered. There are some spikes happened in between. However, the market is mature and growing with a double-digit number, whether it's organically or non-organically. So I do believe it's a long term, and come to companies move beyond moving boxes. And now we all witness the big companies placing their headquarters in the GCC, and in particular in UAE and in Saudi, and also in Qatar and other countries as well. However, This is, I think this is a good indication that this is sustainable. This is not just a boom or just a deal of a hit and run.
Right.
So
Right.
I think very sustainable.
Yeah, interesting to know that and different multifacets that it's carrying. And obviously, a more sustainable model is what invites multiple stakeholders to also take part in that sort of a business. So let's move on into technology sector. AI and IoT are currently reshaping traditional supply chain models, and not just in one particular region. This is happening globally. I mean, people we have previously had on the show from the Europe region, from the Americas, from India as well. They've all been very meticulously talking about how AI and IoT is bringing a sort of vast difference from the traditional way of supply chain management. But healthcare has a unique sensitivity area. So, what does this integration look like across the GCC region, and if we were to integrate the healthcare region into it?
Well, it's already happening. As I mentioned, the government are heavily investing in this sector, and the government is really investing in regulatory and in controlling and elevating the service provided to the patients and the healthcare service provided. And being in this part of the world where product can be compromised by the heat most of the time of the year, then IoT devices are giving real-time data for the shipment condition, and
Mm.
the humidity, and even the vibration transportation. It's huge when it comes to handling life-saving products.
Right,
If you if and I, for example, it's optimizing all our routes nowadays, our inventory planning. This is already happening, actively supported by the government for the smart tech adoption, which is accelerating transformation at every level. So basically, this is already happening and backed up by the government big time.
right. So, if I were to discuss Zahrawi's role in this, have there been any specific tech deployments that Zahrawi have made and that has actually brought a notable difference?
Well, definitely we did multiple innovation in our day-to-day operation. We
Right,
have implemented a demand planning module, and we also looking after a very intelligent warehouse management system. So we are planning our inventories, we are placing it in a very good place, and moving forward, we will move towards more sophisticated technologies in terms of supply chain like our
right.
RFIDs and transportation management system.
Right. So, thank you for that answer, Mr. Ahmed. And if you were to talk about reach, in the GCC, we often focus on urban centers, but there are still remote and underserved areas that need access to timely healthcare. So, how is the supply chain being reimagined to reach these zones?
Absolutely. It cannot go solo in healthcare logistics anymore. The startups is being very innovative,
Mm,
smart lockers, technologies, real-time tracking. Government provides the infrastructure and the scale,
right,
and the logistic partners and the organizations are filling this with technology as with manpower and with expertise as well. So the future is very collaborative, if you ask me. I believe the future is very collaborative for us, and it's not about the competition. It's about the capability and the value delivered to the customers. As you know, the healthcare sector cannot compromise the quality
right.
giving and the B grade or something like that. It has to be a premium quality.
Absolutely. I think that was a very vital point, especially when, there's an increasing demand for equity in the healthcare access system and in that particular area. And I also completely believe that, strategic collaboration, whether we're doing it with the startups or with the government or maybe the local partners, they are very key to solving the kind of access challenges that the logistics system might face. So,
Definitely.
yeah. Taking ahead from that, I mean, if I were to address the elephant in the room, that is disruption. So, whether it's geopolitical tension, pandemics, or raw material shortages, healthcare supply chains have faced a lot in the recent years, especially focusing on the pandemic. So, how would you assess the GCC's disruption readiness in today's world?
Well, you brought up the pandemic. The pandemic was a very learning experience for us. It was not
Right.
an easy task for us. It was a logistical nightmare, if I may say. I believe all my colleagues and all my friends in the industry and all the industry experts have
Mm-hmm.
suffered during this time. Uh, but we are much more ready than before. I can put it this way. Work is in heavily in progress. Not only so yes, we didn't achieve perfection. However, we are much ready than before. As I mentioned, the government is backing up this. We have seen supply chain leaders across the region. Nowadays, they put the emergency stockpiling and have the visibility tools. Government are also integrating visibility tools to ensure that there is no disruption in the supply of any
Right.
life-saving, any substantial item or medicine. Challenges remain. Yes, definitely. But again, we can see the shift also. Now there is like 100% reliance on imports. However, all governments are uh, advocating for local manufacturing, at least for the items create a bottleneck and also they are also pushing for the advanced logistics talents.
Right.
Nowadays, you can see a very good logistics places and
Mm.
supply chain academics providing the real academia for the talents to be able to serve in the country. What's promising is the growing use of the digital applications that is happening all over the place and the predictive analytics as well. These tools, I think, will ease any disruption that may happen in the future and will have a much lesser impact than what happened in the pandemic, for example.
Right. So you mentioned any sort of futuristic risks that might occur. Absolutely. I mean, what you just mentioned, that agility and planning ahead is actually name of the game right now. But looking ahead, what would you say are some of the top risks? I mean, if I were to ask you to directly name them, that supply chain leaders in today's world should keep their eyes on.
Well, I won't say that we are not we are vigilant more than afraid.
Right.
So what we are trying to do is, I think this is on the radar of every supply chain expert in the globe. So the global instability that for the raw material that may happen across for the devices mainly and for the materials that are coming from unique place or a solo place. And the extremes, the climate, I think this is already happening all over the globe as well. We are heavily monitoring this on our radar to make sure that we are going green and the extremes are not happening. So it's not getting too cold or it's not getting too hot, especially that we are in a very sensitive area.
Exactly.
And being in this part of the world definitely will have an impact on that. So I think the climate and the environment as well
Mm.
as in our radar. And the regulation or the regulatory authorities that is happening, especially in healthcare, and not only in healthcare, it's happening in transportation, it's happening in multiple other industries as well, with regards to the waste and with regards to the recycling and the sustainability and everything. So the regulator and the regulation that also have an eye internationally, because everyone is learning from everyone, because now we are in a global village, so everyone knows everything. So whatever happened
Absolutely.
in the other part, definitely it will be replicated in our part of the world. So I think this is the three major things, in addition to the traits that I believe that it should be in every single professional, which is agility, compliance, and visibility. These are the major things, and I think that we should have our focus on.
Right. So, Mr. Emmett, since you are in the health, like you're at the forefront of the healthcare sector right now, and also complying to the logistics work. So, we are bringing the idea of cold chain logistics, World Cold Chain Expo to Dubai. Now, I want to understand from you if you'd like to, deliver a message of that. How important it is for pharma leaders today to come at one platform under one roof and, collaborate with technology providers or service providers under one roof, such as the World Cold Chain Expo, and interact with each other.
Well, I will encourage everyone to join such an activity to collaborate and innovate and gather and share ideas and also get being informed about what happening in the what is new happening. Everything nowadays every week is bringing something new. So
Yeah.
I believe such events and such gatherings for experts specialized in our rare field, whether it's medicine, whether it's vaccines, whether it's food, these
Hmm.
kind of things. I believe these things. I encourage everyone to participate and to collaborate and also to contribute because the more you contribute, the more everyone will have a benefit out of that.
Absolutely. So, this has been an incredibly insightful conversation, Mr. Ahmed. Thank you for sharing your expertise on everything from cold chain innovation to disruption resilience. It is clear to me that, GCC at large is actually currently building a future ready logistics ecosystem. And if you have any last comments to wrap up, I would really appreciate it.
Well, this has been very insightful, Tanya. Thank you so much. The questions are very. I really enjoyed the connecting with you and answering the questions, and I'm looking forward to meet you and the team and all the professionals in the event very soon.
Absolutely. Likewise. And to our audience, thank you for tuning into Tapcast by Tap Group. If you found today's conversation valuable, do not forget to subscribe us and leave us a review. Until next time, see you at the second World Cold Chain Expo in Dubai. Thank you, Mr. Ahmed.
Appreciate it, Tanya. Thank you.